Hey ballers, welcome to If These Balls Could Talk, the podcast once described as just an excuse to talk to your old college friends. This is Mark along with John and our producer Pete, and we're getting ready to discuss the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. If you like what you hear or see, please like us or hit that subscribe button, or as we like to say, tickle that little bell. That's right, Doug.
Oh, Doug's all over that.
Joining us tonight is our friend Doug Feyes. Good evening, Doug. How are things with you?
Good evening, boys. I'm doing well.
Ooh,
that was quite the big, deep good evening.
Oh, yeah.
The phasers.
So I know,
John, how you been? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say for Doug, I know that's his actual house and his actual background, but it almost looks like you're on a green screen because of the way your shirt's backlit. It's just kind of like you have different lighting on you than the rest of the house, which is amazing.
I think it's the ceiling chandelier reflecting off the window behind me.
Right. It's so bright that it's like backlighting you too. So it's kind of awesome.
Now I have an important question, Doug. Do you like to swing on the chandelier?
I do swing on the chandelier. No. I'm trying to pull those lyrics up in my head. I can't do it.
Chandelier. All right. So Mark asked me how I'm doing. Obviously, as you can see, it's
if you're watching the YouTube.
If you're watching the YouTube, it's Game 4 of the American League Divisional Series, and the Yankees are up 2 games to 1.
Excited.
And I'm
so
excited.
excited.
Mm-hmm.
Playoff sports in New York, which I thought would never end, has ended for a while, and it's sad.
How long has it been?
It's hot. It's hot this year.
It's hot this year.
Yep.
It's not just the Yankees. It's also the Mets, which I'm sure we're going to talk about.
And the New York Liberty.
Also the New York Liberty, yeah.
Liberty.
Was my girl.
The Liberty beat the Aces in the semifinals, and now they're in the finals against the Lynx, is it?
Stupid Asia Wilson.
Wow.
Stupid Kelsey Plum.
That's pretty sweet.
I was a little late to the green room, actually very late to the green room, because Jamie and I were, we had to watch Agatha All Along, by the way, most recent episode, amazing. And then we finished Justice League, and we started Suicide Squad. So we're just racing through the Snyder.
Busy.
Are you going to watch both Suicide Squads?
Nah, the second one is rated R.
Okay.
I don't remember why, but the first one
is very gory.
I think it's just the violence.
It's very gory.
Is already a little bit.
Yeah.
We like I skipped around the Harley stuff. I'm like, this stuff is a little odd. She's like, the Joker's weird. I'm like, yep, he is.
Yeah.
All right, he is.
So what about Birds of Prey?
I think probably we'll do Birds of Prey because she really likes girl power. There's a lot of girl power in Birds of Prey.
Girl power
they like
movie.
become friends, and then what's it face? There's some canaries in it. I like Black Canary and White Canary very much. I have a DC themed Flash Dark and Stormy tonight. Dark and Stormy taught to me by my favorite Canadians.
Very nice.
Good drink, by the way. And
that's a good one.
Well, Yankees are winning, so it's going really great.
Cool.
How are you, Mark?
Things are going well. We're playing 2 nights of kickball again. Took a little time off because for some other things.
Did you take my advice and come up with a better name for your kickball team?
No, it's not my choice. But it got really cold. I played last night. It got really cold, like in the 50s.
Ooh.
And so we're wearing my thermals, and we played the best team in the league, and we lost by 1 run.
So I just told the story to some random people about how my friend Mark and I were driving to a beer softball game. And we were driving through the ghetto, and Mark decided to leave his car running outside of the gas station in the ghetto, and I still remember that very clearly.
When was this?
This was back when Albany Awesomes were a thing, and
oh yeah.
I mean, I didn't lose my car.
That was their Doug. That was their like beer league baseball team.
Yep, and
couple years back.
No, it was a softball team, and I remember
softball,
it was a softball team because we got ringers from the girls' softball team.
Oh, that's right.
We
you guys were
really
good.
awesome jerseys too.
We had awesome jerseys.
We
do you guys still have those?
We got off to
really
a slow
cool.
start.
I definitely do, and I'm skinny now, so it fits me.
Yay!
Nice.
I think I have mine somewhere in one of my drawers too.
In your drawers.
In my drawers. Pete, how are you been?
I don't know. I was asking Steph what I should say when you asked me that question. No, I just realized they're going to ask me that.
Wife's birthday. It's almost your son's birthday.
Yeah,
it is. Yes, the November is quickly approaching.
November.
Yeah. So we had a nice fun weekend. I will say this: we went to Iron Roost. I don't know if you guys. It's a local place that's like super waffle place, but they're closed on weekends now. So they did a special Saturday where they're open. I know. So once in a while they'd be like open on this weekend day. So we went on Saturday and it was amazing. And Liam had his first waffle. He gobbled it all.
A lot of places that have weird hours because like some restaurants are doing very well, but some restaurants are closing. And so like we have a really great Italian ice place that I just realized just cut another day off their schedule. So
oh man.
Maybe it's hard
Well,
to
it
be a
is,
small
you
business.
know, not the summer anymore, John.
Maybe it's hard to be a small business.
He wants
I still
Italian
got
ice
cream
every day.
It's ice cream Thursday, Doug. Don't you know anything?
It's like 45 degrees here.
I had
I went running yesterday.
It's always good
I
weather for ice
had
cream.
raspberry ice cream with big dark chocolate chips in it.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
Baller. Emac and Bolio's not a sponsor, but you could be.
But you could be.
You really should be because you're like literally down the road from me.
So yeah, things have actually sort of calmed down at work, so that's pretty nice. And
The next time.
there's something else. Come on, Steph, tell me what I was supposed to say. That is no, because like she did bring it. She's like, oh yeah, if for the thing you could say blah 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 blah. And now I'm like, crap, I don't remember what it was.
Yay, old
It's the
age.
story of my
we
life.
don't remember what we were. What
Old
we did
age.
yesterday.
I've been like that since I was like 15.
No, that's true. That's true.
After the last podcast, you said you had an IMDb page. I looked you up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an impressive.
It's legit, isn't it?
list.
I don't even know how many things are on that. Like there are some things that I worked on
It's a
start to finish,
lot.
and I don't even know what it was.
There's like 40 something movies on there and TV shows.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
some
like,
some are
really,
more
like,
involved than
actors and
others.
actresses and
Yeah,
names and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
some are more involved than others, but
Like I said, we have a Pete. It is our superpower.
Yeah.
who mostly stumbles his way through this podcast. But I'm getting there. Someday I'm gonna be
Shut
a
up.
real
I was
a real
gonna
producer.
add.
We sound like professionals.
I was gonna add our movies that we made as kids to your list, but I
You should.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
professional page.
I know.
That's funny. That's
It's
funny.
still a sore spot. Still lost the first
And,
tape, which had the best ones on it.
Owner of
SNF condos, right? Yep. Which then branched off to SNF Entertainment,
Right.
which is
and
where
then
which was
quickly
the movie.
destroyed by SNF
So Pete,
destruction company.
Pete, I'm gonna
Oh,
make
yeah.
I'm
That's right.
gonna add something. Your IMDb page, while very, very 45 items, by the way. Where is your profile picture, bro? You look like a
You need a
hacker.
picture.
Oh no! Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to add that, huh?
Yeah.
You have
I
to
thought I-
claim that as your real.
I thought I had that in there. Okay, yeah, I'll work
You
on
gotta
it.
add the picture of you jumping through your yard, like it looks like you're flying.
No, it
Oh,
can't.
that was from the
It can't
8th
be
grade.
of
Yeah,
you. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
full Superman style. All right.
No, actually, Stephanie will agree with me. It has to be the senior year glamour photos.
Oh God!
100.
Yes.
The only way.
Yes.
Doing visual effects since
Yes.
you were 18.
Character, yes. Person in photograph may no longer appear like this.
You
Slightly outdated
exactly
photo.
You look exactly the
You look
fucking same.
I do not, but I appreciate it. All
All
right.
right, John, you ready?
Ready?
We all ready to go?
Hey, guys! How much does a polar bear weigh?
Wait, is
Enough to break the ice. It's time for warm up your balls.
that? Oh,
Like it.
we need like a fire.
It goes on. I mean, it'll go on the YouTube. We get a little fire pop up.
I know.
Check it out. A little fire graphic. Yeah,
Oh, I don't see that.
yeah it's on my face.
Oh, true.
It's on the Discord.
bottom left.
You can see it on the Discord.
Oh, yeah.
As a
yeah.
reminder, Pete will spin the wheel and will randomly select the question that our guest will answer. Are you ready, Pete?
I'm ready. The wheel is ready.
Turn.
Okay, are we ready?
So did I. As did I.
All right. Here we go. What's the best advice you've experienced or given someone else?
Why is it always? It always puts the new questions on first.
Or best advice you've received?
I'm
sorry.
starting to think. This isn't very random.
I don't know. Should I respin it?
No. Go
Okay.
ahead, Doug.
All right. So,
This-
Doug,
this
the
is
best
all you,
advice
Doug.
you've
This is
ever
all you.
received or have given someone else? Or both?
So I'll start with the best advice that I've given. It's not exciting, but just going through life and experiencing things. I've always told the younger people in my work world, buy a house that you can live in if the market crashes and you can't sell it, because that happened to us in Virginia. So like, if a lot of people like to buy starter homes, but you could buy a starter home and the market could crash, and all of a sudden your house is worth half what you paid for it.
Oof.
And your starter home is now where you need to raise a family.
That's rough. Oof.
As a realtor, I would argue against that.
No,
sorry.
Real
Mark.
estate is always a good long-term investment.
Well, Mark, you can always. That means you just pivot there and upsell.
Right.
Buy
Well,
bigger.
we should always buy a 5-bedroom, 6-bathroom house.
Well, no, that you shouldn't. Especially if this is going to be your first home.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's true.
I mean, if you're rich, I guess.
Well, no, we did get lucky though. The house we bought, we could have lived in for a long time, but then we had to move back here. But other than that, best advice I've received.
It's okay. Doug, you don't have to answer. These are supposed to be quick fire. So.
Yeah, we
No, that's fine. All right, let's move to the next.
you have fulfilled the question, and now
So the best advice that I have received in recent memory is, and especially for anxiety, always focus on the next thing. Just the next thing.
Good advice.
That's it.
And how about shout out to Rudy Kellner? It always gets done. It
always gets done in the end.
It always gets done
in the end. Famous advice from now a very successful business owner.
All right, Pete, go ahead.
Oof. So I remember giving incredible life advice to people at I'm going to fit it in, the bar formerly known as 716, now owned by Southern Tier, that we talked about before the show.
Yeah, did you know that Southern Tier bought that?
But
We did.
the problem with this is that I don't remember what the advice was, because I was about 12 beers deep and 6 bars in during the bachelor.
That was a fun party.
My bachelor party.
Yeah, that was fun.
But I totally
very
gave
drunk.
some 20-somethings some apparently incredible life advice, because they were like, whoa. If only I could remember what it was.
You sure you just
Pete's wise when he's
imagine
drunk.
that moment?
It was
I'm
so
not that
good.
drunk.
I can't remember.
It was, you're right.
I'm not that drunk.
It's like that
I'm
one
not
legendary
that
thing
drunk.
where like that happens when you're drunk and you're like that place, right? You go to this magical place and then you come back sober and you can't find it. Like, damn it, where is it?
Probably sounded like
That's called
it.
beer
Probably
fest.
sounded like this. Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah.
And they were
And
just
they're
like,
whoa,
whoa, this guy's hammered. We got to get him to the hospital.
All right, next question.
Okay, next question. Ask the hosts. It's really big and it looks like the wheel's yelling at me. So, Doug, what do you have to ask us?
Doug, you can ask us any question.
Okay, almost any question.
What are you guys gonna do to celebrate your 2-year anniversary as a podcast?
What?
It's a good
that's
question.
coming up next
That is a good
month.
question. I think we should celebrate the New York Yankees.
That works for you.
Okay. This isn't a Yankees podcast, no matter how many
I
times we talk
actually-
about them.
I know.
Think that some sort of sports-related trip and a live would be cool. And it doesn't
I
have to
heard
be like
Buffalo's
the
this
World
this
Series,
year.
but maybe like something random like the Buffalo Bisons or something south. Maybe
That would be
maybe
fun.
A Savannah Bananas game, like something fun.
Oh,
that we
yes.
could report at.
And I would love to do a show live with us all together.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I just realized I had our names in the
I
wrong
think-
places. Now they're right.
I think that would be really fun.
We'll have to figure that out one day.
I mean, we
without
gotta do something.
without
Yeah.
renting a podcast studio.
Without
Yes.
renting a podcast studio.
We actually almost did that, Doug. We almost
yeah.
did that. We were thinking of doing recording the show when I was in Cincinnati, because I was with the person, or actually the people that was going to be our guest, and so we were thinking about ways to do this. And one of them was actually renting out a podcast studio, because we weren't 100% sure if we were going to do this a lot. So it's like, well, let's go somewhere that has all the equipment already. and we almost pulled the trigger, but then was like, "This is too much," and I just want to have fun.
And it was
How much was it to rent a podcast studio?
As much
Shane's
as it would
right
have
about
cost to buy an audio interface to where he could have done it portably, which is that's what I was arguing. I was like, just get the interface, then you could do this whenever you want. But
Next.
it would have looked really cool.
So what, like $5?
Yes, 5 whole doll hairs.
All right. Next question. What person, either alive or deceased, would you like to have dinner with?
Oh, this isn't one of my questions. This is a John question.
This is a good question.
Oh wow, God. Well, James Earl Jones, live and dead.
Ooh.
He just passed away. I know you guys just talked about it.
Yeah. R.I.P. James Earl
but-
Jones.
Yeah, I mean, just what it was like to play the most iconic voice.
So many iconic roles.
Yeah, not
too.
just one. I mean,
in so many roles. Well, I know,
Yeah.
but like for me,
but right. The biggest one is obviously Darth
biggest
Vader.
one
but-
for me was Simba, but
Right.
or Mufasa. But
So-
no, I think that would be very entertaining. I mean, like all the movies he's been in, all the things that he's done, and just the the ups and downs in his career.
I'm sure he is.
American and dealing with all that stuff.
Mm.
As a younger age, but I think it would be a fantastic.
That would be cool. Could you imagine some of the behind the scenes stories he has too?
Oh my God!
I mean, clearly coming to America.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Eddie Murphy really like?
I heard
Sure, it's
a
exactly what you see.
I heard a good
190
story.
roles, by the way. 190 IMDb credits.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh,
You're
man.
almost there, Pete.
I'm getting there.
I heard a good story about James Earl Jones when he was on Broadway doing the play Fences, and he actually had to legit cry on stage every single night. I mean, he didn't have to, but he did that.
Wow. That'd be a question to ask Steph as our resident actress of like how difficult that is to do on demand.
All right.
All right.
Moving on.
Yeah,
Are you
unless
gonna chime
anyone
in?
has anyone that wants to. 2 minutes ago?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
All right. Anyone have a particular person they would love to have dinner with?
Nope, let's just move on.
That's right. All right, let's move on.
I wasn't paying attention. The Yankees are.
They're in
I
trouble.
had to say
We're not in
it.
trouble. They just need to get them
Garrett
out.
Cole's
Okay.
in trouble.
This is kind of a
Shut your
cool
mouth.
question. What book are you
Oh, it's fine
currently
now.
are you currently reading or plan on reading?
Oh, okay. So I live, breathe, eat, sleep, drink with my Kindle. It's like it's
Oh,
with me
okay.
all
I didn't
the
realize
time.
that.
And I'm constantly just downloading books from like the library. I'll just via ebook.
No, but what do you read?
Right
bro?
now, well, okay, I'm getting there. Jesus Christ, guys.
Hurry.
So right now I'm reading a horror trilogy written by James Murray of what's this show on Spike? Oh God, where the 4 guys do stuff and
Practical Jokers?
that's it. Practical Jokers. It's pretty entertaining. It's an easy read, but it's about these creatures that live below the earth, and they're quickly evolving to come onto the surface and annihilate the humans and take over as the dominant species on the planet.
Whoa.
And there's this like secret Nazi group that has been controlling the creatures for decades since World War II. Now they're planning on using them to take over the world. So
Whoa.
it's pretty wild.
That
It's pretty
is out
entertaining.
there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun read during spooky season.
Damn.
But that is what I'm currently reading.
I have a
we need
Stephen
a- we need a
I have a Stephen
spooky-
King problem. The last book I read was Doctor Sleep, and I am currently reading Salem's Lot, which I hadn't read the first time
Ooh.
through.
I worked
And
on
I
There's a
noticed-
show coming out.
I worked on the
I
Dr. Sleep
noticed that-
movie.
I noticed that HBO just released a remake of Salem's Lot, and I remember that you worked on Doctor Sleep. It was very, very good. The
That was a
book
good one. I enjoyed working on that one too. Spooky.
We need a spooky soundbite. Yeah.
There it is. Spooky season.
We should
There
just
is.
record that.
Yeah.
We have a great Halloween episode planned for everyone with someone who has a pretty big internet following and will
Rightfully delightful.
We'll almost definitely dress up.
We should. I don't know what costume
No,
I'm
she
gonna
will.
do.
Yeah.
She definitely will. So
Yeah.
it'll be better.
As far as books, if you don't mind me chiming in here, I got to give a shout out to this author Brandon Sanderson, who's a big fantasy writer now, probably one of the bigger ones at the moment. Like younger than, because George R. R. Martin hasn't written shit in like 10 years. Finish the books, George.
Biggest.
He's too busy making shows for
I know about the books. It's like, come on, man, just finish the books.
Writing
He's too busy being rich.
I know. Well, Brandon Sanderson cranks out books like a book a day. The guy is insane. But one of his older ones, his first ones that he wrote when he was younger, it's pretty good. He has this whole big universe, but one of the first series in it was called Mistborn, and it's about it's like this kind of post-apocalyptic thing. I think it's hard to say right now because I haven't finished it. But I'm in the middle of book 2. It's really good. Highly recommended. It's about these people that it's this terrible oppression thing. But these people have these powers where some people are born with the ability where a certain metal that they literally ingest, like literally take some flakes of like tin, and it will give them special abilities. They can like burn these metals kind of in their body, and it gives them an ability. So each metal has a specific property that gives you a specific ability. Most people can only use one, but a Mistborn can use all of them. So it follows, the story follows like this very unassuming character. There's like a main character, and then there's a new unassuming character that turns out is also a Mistborn, and it just follows that story of like, hey, what if we take down this emperor who's lived for 1,000 years and causing a bunch of shit? Like,
Everyone
it seems
loves
impossible,
Chosen One.
right? It seems absolutely impossible.
Is it Chosen One or is it Reluctant Hero? That's the name of the other one.
Kind of both. More Reluctant Hero, actually. Not really Chosen. There's no like prophecy or anything, but
I like Reluctant Hero better.
Actually, the prophecy kind of went wrong because like the oppressive evil guy is the one that was supposed to be prophesized to save the world, and instead he's like ruling with iron fist for 1,000 years, and they're like, hey, what if we just take him out? We're just like a group of thieves. Why not? So it follows like that master plan throughout the whole book. It's pretty cool.
So we are out of time, but to end this, there is a influencer that has hit my algorithm on TikTok, and he's a dramatic actor who does monologues from like mostly Brandon Sanderson books in like a very like royal English voice, and he's really fantastic.
Interesting. But
anyway, I think it's time for the next thing, Pete.
Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, ba-da, down. Sorry, ESPN. I apologize. I'm not violating any copyright laws by humming the song vaguely. And now it is time for Mighty Morphin Power Rankings.
Go Power Rankings.
That's okay. Doug, have you perused the power rankings? Are you ready?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Hey,
so
by the way, Mark, at least for the last couple of seconds, we don't have sound from you.
Oh, also, guys, we're starting a GoFundMe for a USB cable replacement for Mark.
No, it's on the Patreon.
That's the Patreon tier. You buy new USB cable.
How's that? Is that better?
That's better.
Much better.
And your benefit will be no more random dropouts from Mark. So we hear his beautiful voice the whole show.
Mark will send you some of his hair.
Can you just duct tape it to the microphone?
That would be too easy.
Where are we going with this?
I don't know.
I don't know. I got distracted.
Doug has a good idea, though. You just tape it onto it.
Yeah.
Strain relief. Okay, so we're going to try to breeze through here. So one format we want to try out is like the top couple teams, top couple bottom teams, and then some of the biggest movers and shakers of the week, right? Whether it's up or down.
The Commanders.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there. So in the top 5, hasn't changed a whole lot. Except a few people have bumped up over Detroit because Detroit didn't play. They're one of the few teams that moved during a bye week. I tried to keep them still, but big showings from the Ravens and Texans lately have bumped each of them up over the Detroit Lions. So we'll see how things shake out this week when Detroit plays again. So that's kind of the top 5. We'll maybe go on 6, 7, 8. Green Bay still looking pretty good, but they got bumped down because of these freaking Commanders. They look amazing.
Commanders.
They jumped so high on this list.
They have, but I feel like they deserve it. They're actually
4-1. They're first place in the NFC East.
Jaden Daniels seems amazing.
You know who is very exciting? Did anybody catch Frankie Lavu, linebacker on the Commanders, doing the haka and hyping up the locker room after the game was done? That was amazing. He's an amazing defensive captain, like ridiculous.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to watch more. It's so fun to watch a team on the rise like this because they're just having so much fun.
Yes.
Right.
Except
Before
they have a little bit of a running back problem this week. Everybody's hurt. Austin Eckler's hurt. Brian Robinson Jr. is hurt.
That is tough, but I think they'll be okay. All right. So we're going to, there's a lot of teams in the middle. If you want to see all of them, please go to our website, iftheseballscouldtalkpod.com/NFL Power Rankings, or just click the Power Rankings thing. Let's go down to the bottom. We have a lot of
Giants make it out of the bottom 5.
They are out of the bottom 8.
Yes.
Not just the bottom 5, the bottom 8.
The bottom 8.
Yeah,
Coming,
I like doing this in
baby.
groups of 8 because it's 32 teams and it divides nicely that way. So
Who's your quarterback again?
He played fucking great.
I saw an article that they are saying that New York has been doing Danny Dimes dirty,
He played fucking
and that
great.
maybe he's better than we
He
think.
had a highest hit PPR, and Wan'Dale Robinson had a career day. I mean, and they didn't even have Malik Neighbors, and they beat a team that's better than them, honestly.
Which is why they moved up another. Just keep winning, keep moving up. That's how I do things. Jaguars flew out of the basement with reckless abandon because they actually have some
Jaguars.
life.
They got their first win.
And
The Jaguars.
and what's the face? Brian Thomas Jr. looks awesome. He's a legit WR1.
And
Bills, why didn't you fucking trade up to get him? I'll say that every time.
He kicked my ass in fantasy this week with Brian Robinson.
Right in the team.
Brian Thomas, he's gonna be in my regular starting rotation now.
And Lamar, and oh my God, Pete, you had such an amazing week.
My team waited 5 weeks to finally all explode all at once.
You're like 6th place. Shut your mouth.
And I started my JV team.
Yeah, you fired everyone. Everyone got fired off
Yep.
Mark's fantasy team. I was like, Mark,
Listen, I'm smarter than the projections, though. I was projected to have like 50 points.
Yeah.
And I ended up scoring over 100. So
Hey,
I think that's okay.
So
AJ's back.
to finish this out, Browns
AJ
are just
Brown will be back, yes.
yes. Browns are continuing to sink. Titans, I don't know what to do with them because we haven't really seen what Andy Dalton can do. Wait, is Dalton on the Panthers or the Titans?
Panthers.
Yeah, they still look bad. And Miami's on the bottom until they figure out who the hell is going to throw
Levis
passes.
still really likes mayonnaise.
Yeah.
It's still Levistown.
Yeah. And sorry, Mark, I tried my best to get the Patriots out of the basement.
I'm surprised you didn't move the
a-
Dolphins for beating the Patriots.
I'm winning.
No,
my
instead I just moved the Patriots further down to the Dolphins.
Hey, I'm just glad that they're not worse. But we're going to talk about that a little more.
They're not last. All right, so with the little time we have, a couple other big movers that we have not talked about yet. Bills down 3. Sorry, beat a good team. Until then,
they haven't beat a good team yet.
Are the Jets a good team?
I have them at 23, so no.
The Jets
Not
are
when
not
you
a good
fire head coach.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're going to get into that too.
Bengals, even on a loss, I moved them up a lot. So they're the biggest move up from a loss I think that I've done so far.
Yeah.
But they just look like, their offense is too
amazing.
good.
I mean, the Bengals are an offensive
Defense looks
juggernaut.
horrible.
I know their defense looks horrible, but I feel like they're going to figure that out. And I have more faith in consistently good offenses than defenses. So I think things are going to work themselves out. It's early enough in the season they can recover.
Is the second ranked by PPR and touchdowns quarterback in the whole league this year.
Yep.
I mean, he's having a great year.
Keep your eyes out for the Broncos. They've been quietly amassing some good wins, and they're looking better each week.
Defensively strong.
Yep. Yeah, they're solid. And Bo Nix seems like he's legit. He may actually be a good quarterback. The Rams, unfortunately, is the opposite story. They're just kind of in free fall. Biggest fall. Yep, they're in free fall. So I think that about wraps up anything. Do you guys see anybody that's in a weird place that you're like, what the fuck are you doing, Pete? Why is that team there?
The Cardinals are a little high, but
They look
not
pretty
high enough
good.
for me to worry about it. The
I don't think
Cowboys are a
that's
little
too high.
high because the Cowboys, even though they won, look
I don't
terrible.
think the Cowboys are a little high.
They went down
I
a point. They went down a rank even after winning. So
Yeah,
I think
like,
the Steelers are a little high. Steelers, I don't know if they're the 9th best.
I like the
team.
bottom.
I know, I
like the
wanted to
top.
move them down,
Honestly, I
but-
like these a lot.
I don't have faith that the Bills could beat the Steelers right now. That's what it is.
I think the Chargers are kind of underdogs right now too. I think they probably should be in the top half.
I could see that. I'm cautiously optimistic with them.
Jim
holding on
Harbaugh
this
knows
team.
how to win football games.
And also,
He
the
does.
Eagles are a little high. The Eagles are still in free fall. They just got a break from their free fall.
Well, the only reason they're probably still there is because they were on bye week, and I didn't see any team that proved good enough to like forcefully knock them down. I guess I probably could have put like the 49ers, Bills, and Steelers ahead of them, but I don't know. I don't have faith
But
that Bills could
see
beat
how
the
they-
Eagles
I mean,
either.
We'll see how they look with
Ruh-roh,
Adrian.
John. Ruh-roh, John. Oh, warning track power.
So, anybody else? Anything else, or are we good to go?
Oh, you're a little ahead of me. That made me nervous. Thought that was going to go out. I think we're good.
All
And
right.
we are at time.
Perfect. All right.
All
so
right, we would
that's-
like to thank one of this week's big sponsors, Slick Spin Ping Pong Paddles. Crush the competition with Slick Spin Ping Pong Paddles. Designed for ultimate control and precision, giving you the edge on every serve. Slick Spin. Spin it. to win
Spin it again.
I'm not gonna lie. That's why I chose this one, because it had spin it, and it just made me think of tailspin.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it was
Now I get it.
the Tailspin theme song.
again.
Spin it. Spin it again.
All right, everyone, shall we kick off this shindig?
Yes.
Tailspin.
Well-
I'm stuck in tailspin, guys.
OEA first topic. OEO first
OEO.
topic.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
Dick
Oh
and
yeah.
Dun
Oh
For
yeah.
the first topic.
Awesome.
So good at this. Really,
we
very
digress.
excellent.
Yes.
We digress. All right, it's been a disappointing, albeit expected, losing season for the team from Foxborough, Massachusetts. In the most recent loss to the lowly Dolphins, which we were talked about, they had a chance to win as Jalen Polk caught a ball in the end zone with a foot and a toe touching in bounds, but was later ruled incomplete after his heel struck the white chalk. Needless to say, the coach decided to make a change, and now the first-round draft pick, Drake May, is expected to make his first NFL start against the mighty Houston Texans. Personally, I'm not sure how a toe tap is different than a toe drag, but maybe we might talk about this a little bit. So, everyone, should the last second play by the pass be called a catch, and is it truly the right time to start Drake May?
Yes and no.
Yes,
Yes
and no.
I'm
So,
good.
in all seriousness, what's the difference between a toe tap and a toe drag?
Yeah, no, I'm saying yes to the catch, no to starting Drake May. It's still, I don't know. To me, it's like you've touched two limbs. That's supposed to be it, right? You've made contact with two limbs inbounds, and as long as you maintain control of the ball
To be
through
honest,
that fall, you're good.
A low-ranked game in the AFC did not hit my radar, so I didn't see it.
I didn't see that play, but I've heard about it. Yeah, but
So,
before this.
literally, this was towards the end of the game. The Jacoby Brissett threw a pass to Polk. He caught it with 1 foot in, and he tapped his toe, but he didn't drag it. And because he tapped it and his heel came down out of bounds, it was ruled not a catch.
It's dumb.
It was initially ruled a touchdown, but they reviewed it, and because his heel came out of bounds, it wasn't ruled a catch.
Ugh.
And there is actually a rule. They explained this on air while the game was going on, that because it wasn't a toe drag, that his whole foot had to be in bounds.
I've never heard that before. I think somebody just made that up.
No, that is legitimate the rule.
That's stupid.
I mean, and that would have given the Patriots their second win versus now being not their second win.
I feel like asking.
Very sad. I'm very sad.
I feel like asking an official NFL person what is a catch is like the same thing if you try to divide by 0 on a mechanical calculator and
Article
it just like
7
explodes.
of the NFL rulebook, what is and isn't a catch if any part of the foot hits out of bounds during the normal continuous motion of taking a step, heel toe or toe heel, then the foot is out of bounds. A player is in bounds if he drags his foot or if there is a delay between the heel toe or toe heel touching the ground. That sounds nonsensical.
But like, what happens if, because a lot of players will tap the feet and then they fly up into the air and then land again out of bounds. But that's considered a catch. So what the hell? What do you think, Doug?
I mean, I think we're stuck on the minutia of this question, and I think the more interesting portion of the topic.
Oh, the Drake May one, definitely.
Oh no, I could talk for like 5 more minutes on this toe tap thing because it's just so ridiculous.
I mean, it's very dumb.
All
It's
right.
very, very dumb.
I don't know.
I think that, unfortunately, the Patriots, the Jets, and a number of other bad teams have this habit of ruining good quarterbacks. And putting
You
them
calling
in too
Mac
early.
Jones a good quarterback?
I'm apparently calling Sam Darnold a good quarterback.
It looks a hell of a lot better than he did on the Jets.
I mean, right? You put a guy in the right situation, in the right program with the right receivers, and
Baker Mayfield, right?
Baker Mayfield, who was not a good quarterback and now is, and like loves his life. He's so happy all the time. Happy Baker Mayfield. Wild. The world doesn't deserve that. I mean,
Yeah, it is. That is kind of crazy.
I think, unfortunately, Mark said it in the beginning of the year, but the New England offensive line is bad.
Terrible
And-
offensive line.
And Drake May is not
Mhm.
a big guy. I mean,
Through 5 games, they've had I think they've had 5 different starting lineups for the offensive line.
yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately it sounds problematic because once you make a guy see ghosts, Daniel Jones, you're very bad at football. I mean, you just don't trust yourself if you're getting tackled every 3 seconds.
I will say this. I think Jacoby is also kind of made a little worse because he holds on to the ball a little bit too long sometimes. And Drake May is a little bit more agile and athletic than Jacoby. So we'll see. I feel like though the Pats are getting a little bit swayed by what's been going on with the other
100%.
first time. I did look at this. So the team records for the 3 teams that have first round draft pick quarterbacks are 10-5 right now. And their total stats, 66.5% completion, 3,092 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions.
Well, I mean, and
That's
JJ McCarthy
not bad
is
at all
injured,
for
and
rookies.
Jaden Daniels is 4-1. So 10-5. Jaden
Bo
Daniels
Nix is
4-1.
3-2, and Caleb Williams is also 3-2.
That's true.
Yeah. Chicago's turning it on. Yeah,
Caleb woke up this past week for sure.
he did.
Well, it helped that he faced the Panthers.
Did he face the Panthers?
I mean, yeah.
And he was much more present with his team too. They were like he was mic'd up, and he just sounded like he sounded better. Like he
Much
sounded
more
less
comfortable.
nervous and comfortable and stuff like that. Like who knows how JJ would have played with the quality of the Vikings this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jaden Daniels is going to be the rookie of the year, right?
Potentially, if he stays healthy.
If he stays healthy and he keeps winning, and I don't see them losing. So I think they really love, especially after CJ last year. And CJ is such a cool guy. He's like really good on the microphone. He's really good in press conferences. I don't know if Jaden is, but that it's an LSU product, right? Like you play in LSU, and you learn how to be a leader. You learn how to be a celebrity. You just learn all the pieces in the right program.
They pump out a lot of NFL players.
I mean, yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
and right now, right, they're legendary status for their program. Ever since Joe Burrow, Chase, like that team was like a super team.
Justin Jefferson also LSU.
Jefferson, right? Yeah, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson on the same freaking team. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, ridiculous, right? When you think about it.
Madness.
And I think that those guys versus other first. I mean, we have to remember that Daniel Jones was a first-round quarterback, right? He was a number 8. They don't all work.
Number 6.
Number 6. They don't all work. They just don't.
Nope.
No, they definitely don't know. Well, Ryan Leaf, remember Ryan Leaf?
I was just thinking that.
Jamarcus Russell.
Or like 3 or 4 of the Bills quarterbacks that were first rounders.
Although also you have to keep in mind that Peyton Manning has the all-time record for interceptions thrown in the season, and he did that in his rookie year.
Still does. Yeah.
Stanky.
That may never get broken now. The way
It's like
the game's
26
played.
or 28.
It's a lot.
I think we are at time, gentlemen.
Can I just say, John, your favorite human is of the belief, firmly of the belief, of to not start rookie quarterbacks too young. He was on. Was it McAfee, the Pat McAfee show that he said that? I think he was talking about just.
By the way, how
the way
is
he
Aaron
was brought
Rodgers
up in
back
Green
on
Bay.
the show?
I don't know. They must have made up in the background somehow.
McAfee like slammed Aaron Rodgers after.
I know.
And how
Can
he's
we
back
just
on the
remember
show.
that Pat McAfee got his start past the NFL in the WWE? I mean, I don't think he gives a shit what Aaron Rodgers says.
He has the voice. Like he seems like a guy that would also like do wrestling.
He's very popular. He's like an influencer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
I like when he goes to College Game Day and sings the fight songs for everybody. That's really awesome. He does a great job.
He's very entertaining. All right.
We'll be on the
All
show
right.
anytime you want, Pat.
I have a bunch of new songs.
Ooh,
for
okay.
next topic.
I have one, so go. But do you?
Open up your eager eyes, because it's next topic time.
Nice.
Nice. Only one crackalack, but less than before.
I'm getting a little further away.
A little crackalack.
Just gotta do that.
Yeah. All right.
But
So
excellent.
speaking of my favorite human, so Jets fans, this is fine, right? Well, let the dysfunctional decisions continue. Tuesday morning, the Jets fired head coach Robert Saleh after another sad loss and a 2-3 start to a season they were expected to be a contender. Saleh had been with the Jets since 2021 and is the dishonor of being its losingest head coach at 20-36. This comes just days or a day after he expressed his confidence of being able to turn the season around, saying, "So I'm not panicked. Nobody in this building is panicked."
Whoops.
So, does ex-DC Jeff Ulbrich have a chance of turning this team around, or does my favorite human Aaron Rodgers add too much chaos? Also, seeing the play of former Jet Sam Darnold, are the Jets actually cursed?
Yes. Next question.
Did they build their stadium like an Indian burial ground or something?
It's
the
Oh no,
It's the
right.
same
It's the
way-
same
yeah,
one
it's
as
the
the
same one the
Giants. So it
Giants
would,
play it.
right. It would
Jimmy
curse them.
Hoffa's buried underneath it.
Granted,
Yeah.
we haven't been good since it was built either, so maybe.
So
That's true.
this is not just a recent phenomenon. The Jets have been essentially cursed since Joe Namath raised that finger in the air after Super
Mhm.
Bowl III.
Yep.
And they haven't done really a lot.
Namath made a
Now,
deal with
the-
the devil. Clearly.
Their recent foibles have, yes, because they decided to go all in with Aaron Rodgers. They not only signed Aaron Rodgers, but they signed all of Aaron Rodgers' friends and Aaron Rodgers' former offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, who that's the guy they were trying to think of last week, Pete. Now,
Yes.
here's an interesting thing that just came out today. Nathaniel Hackett is not going to be the playmaker anymore.
I heard that. So any rumors of him eventually becoming
Or
like
play
having their plans
caller,
for being
excuse me, not
the
playmaker.
head coach is probably out
And
the
Ulbrich
window.
said that today. He said some other guy is going to be the play. Even though Nate Hackett is still going to be the OC.
It's kind
So,
of
it's-
crappy. It's-
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, the fact that now Aaron Rodgers, this whole time, ever since Saleh got fired, has been saying this wasn't my idea. I had no idea this was going on. I mean, John, I know how you feel, but
He's a liar.
I mean, you think
Yeah.
so, Doug?
He's a fucking liar.
Well, okay. If Aaron Rodgers really did not want head coach to be fired, they wouldn't have fired him.
yeah.
I think he did.
Okay, let's
I
You
just
can
saw the
believe
look
that,
he
yeah.
gave him when he tried to give him the bear hug on the sideline.
yeah, let's just
Or
look
didn't
at
he
the
like shove him or
smoking gun.
something?
Robert
pushed
Saleh
him
was
away.
like,
Yeah.
"It's okay,
Yeah.
we lost. Here's a hug." And Aaron's like, "Don't you fucking touch me." And you know he
No.
got home at the end of that game. He called Woody. He said, "Fire that fucking guy. He tried to touch me."
It's like, do you know who I am?
Doesn't know who I am.
The bad man tried to touch me.
And the thing about the Jets right now is the Jets look flat.
Yeah,
They-
and it's just their
and
offense.
Yeah, no, their
Their
defense is great.
pretty good.
But that's
Their
I think that-
defense is good.
which is how I feel like the Jets are every season. They're good enough
But
to
it is
spoil teams that are looking at the aspiring
it is
playoffs, but
shocking
never good enough to
How
make it
good
themselves.
Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall are. They're shockingly good.
But Brees has
And-
not had a good season this year either.
Not had a good season at all. And I think it's because they don't. No one is scared of the passing game. No one
Well,
is
a lot
scared.
of
No
a
one
lot
is
of
scared Aaron
people.
Rodgers.
I mean, a lot of people have said that this offense is outdated, and it's just predictable.
I did
So
hear
that
that. Yeah.
everyone kind of knows what's going on, and
Yeah, stack the line and double team Garrett Wilson.
I mean, okay, one of the big things about Rodgers' game when he was in his prime was he's not known as like a running quarterback, but he had good mobility, especially dodging, moving around in the pocket, making things like your vintage
The man is
Mahomes or
40
Allen,
years
right?
old now, though.
Yeah, with
He looks old.
just off of a broken
Almost as old as
Achilles.
we are.
Right?
And he looks old. He was
40-year-old man that just broke his Achilles a year ago. Like, he's not the same QB. He may have a great arm still,
Not at
but
all.
he can't buy himself the time, especially with that line, that he needs to do anything with it.
I mean,
And
that one play, the Jets could have won last week's game. And that one play with the double move that Garrett Wilson did, and Aaron Rodgers missed him. That
Mhm.
was not anyone else's fault, but Aaron Rodgers.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a side question to this. Say that all of a sudden we hear a morning headline tomorrow, Jets trade for Devontae Adams. How much better are they, if at all?
I mean,
Is somebody that Aaron Rodgers trusts and
I know
is a
they
hell of a lot
haven't
more
talked-
talented than Alan
Yeah.
Lazard.
I know they haven't talked about it yet, but Devontae Adams is on that circle to trust Aaron Rodgers team where I wouldn't be surprised if he went there.
And Derek Carr's hurt. So he's probably not going to the Saints.
That's right. Derek Carr's hurt.
Even though the Saints are a much better team than the Jets.
The Saints are a much better team than the
And I
Jets.
feel like he would be used better on the Saints than he would the Jets.
Well, and they don't have a true one either.
The Saints?
No. Olave's not a true one.
No.
He's got to get there, I think. He could get there.
I mean, he has the tools, but he hasn't been
Yeah.
a true one yet. They still, I mean, I think still their number one
He's
target.
Oh,
one
all
of my receivers in fantasy.
So they're facing the Bills, right? No.
Yeah.
Who are they facing?
Yeah,
the Bills.
on
Monday Night
Monday
Football.
Night Football.
So, and the Bills don't look so good either. Now, will this move, do we feel, make any difference in that game?
Maybe it. There are a lot of times teams get all fired up right when they fire a coach. You see that a lot where it's like, man, we suck enough for that to happen. Let's rebound here. You know, we got to show people that we can that we can do it.
We saw that happen with Jeff Saturday last year when he got hired as the interim coach of the Colts.
Yeah.
Was that last year or was that 2 years ago? I forget when that was.
And the Jets defense always makes me nervous.
Antonio Pierce on the Raiders. I mean,
Yeah.
You should be worried about Sauce Gardner.
I mean, I'm always worried about Sauce Gardner. He's great.
but who's Sauce Gardner going to cover though?
Right. There's no-
Receivers?
But which one?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's fine. He doesn't have to worry about that because no one's going to be open and no
we'll
one's
see if
going to be able
Shakir's
to catch
healthy
a
enough
pass.
to play.
I mean, he's the only one that looks like any good. I mean, Coleman in spurts, but he's a rookie. You can't really rely on that unless you picked.
So we're
going to
get into
one.
it. So
No,
we don't
I'm
have
just
to talk about the Bills' struggles that much. But like, I've heard that the focus on Curtis Samuel has been sort of a fail. The non-focus on Curtis Samuel has been a bit of a failure so far, and that they're going to try to do that.
kidding.
Curtis Samuel, while he seems like he's old, is only 28.
Is he really that good though?
He's
he
not
hasn't really
bad.
done anything.
Yeah, he's
I mean, he hasn't
fast.
done anything, but he doesn't have any. I mean, like if you looked at his targets, I think his
Just
targets are
negative
very low.
yards for
Yeah,
this.
he's not looking that way at all.
That's
And
very
you're not
bad.
throwing them the ball.
As someone who used to own Samuel on a
Hey.
fantasy team,
Yeah,
They've thrown to him a couple times, and he can't either catch or he can't run.
yeah, that's true. He has not looked good at all.
that is of vital importance as a wide receiver.
Yes, you're supposed
You
to
gotta throw the ball.
catch the ball and then move forward with the ball.
Touchdown.
Yes,
And we're at time.
it'll be interesting to
Time.
see who wins this one. All right, Mark, what else you got?
I have a
Now Oh, go ahead, Doug.
Doug has a song.
Doug's got one.
Doug.
Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Follow me, my friend, to glory at the next topic.
Awesome. Is that from Wicked or something?
No, it's from
No,
Agatha.
it's
all
from
along.
Agatha.
And by the
Oh,
way,
Agatha.
Agatha
All
all
right, I
along.
need to watch this show. All right,
Agatha
all right.
all along, and we're going to talk about it. No, actually, maybe not. We're talking about a different Marvel thing, but it is probably the best thing they've done in years.
I mean, WandaVision was great. So
It's to that level. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Well, it's the sequel series from WandaVision.
right, which is why I want to watch it because I was very impressed with WandaVision.
But you
And they
don't
s-
have to really watch WandaVision to get it, I think.
It helps.
I'm sure it helps.
It
but you don't.
makes it
I don't think
better.
you have to.
Because
It does
then
make it
that's
better.
why you know it was
Anyway.
Agatha all along. Okay.
With us being deep into the MLB playoffs, we are certainly seeing the best of the best out on the diamond. However, I want to talk about a play that didn't happen in Milwaukee last week when the Mets played the Brewers. A foul ball was headed towards the first base side, and Pete Alonso tried to make a play. However, it appeared that a Brewers fan stretched out the protective netting and possibly interfered with the play, leading to Alonso not being able to catch the foul ball. Now, this netting was installed in all ballparks back in 2020. But interesting enough, the rule for fan interference was not altered according to Close Call Sports and only pertains when fans reach out into the playing field or physically go out on the field. So everyone, is it fair or foul for a fan to use protective netting to attempt to interfere with a defensive play?
I think only in the movie Angels in the Outfield and if you're Christopher Lloyd.
That was on the other day.
Was it really?
Oh my god, I forgot how good that movie is.
I never saw the whole thing. I'm going to have to go back and watch
that.
that. No, I didn't have
It was
HBO.
on HBO like every single day of the summer of like 95 or something.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have HBO. We didn't have cable until like 95.
I don't know. This was on social media. That's how this story got inspired by me. And they had a really close shot of the guy like literally pushing the netting, and then at the last second he put it back. So it now
That should
again
be interference.
yeah it as far as I know I was trying to find the name of this fan that wasn't really out there, and as far as I
Billy
know he
Douchebag.
wasn't kicked out. Normally you get kicked out of a game for fan
I
interference.
was going to say, like, you're interfering with the sport. That's a major, like, there's a
the
lot
integrity of the game, right? The integrity.
the
of
integrity of all the money in those sports books.
Right?
So, I mean, hey, but it's legit. I mean, can you imagine how pissed you'd be if you put down like $100K on a certain prop bet that got ruined because some asshole like moved the net?
Seriously, and Alonso was. I mean, in the long run, the Mets did end up winning that series. Spoiler alert. And in the long run, like Alonso actually wasn't very upset about the play. So I don't necessarily know if he truly, if the ball was interfered by. But this was certainly an attempt of the guy trying to wreck someone's life and possibly change the outcome of the game.
So do you guys
Damn.
remember? Well, Mark, do you remember the 1996 ALCS Yankees?
Jeffrey Mayer.
Jeffrey Mayer, baby. And I mean, that was a big story because he definitely interfered. And the guy's like,
Absolutely.
but like that became a whole thing because I don't even know if
They did not have
good
replay
enough
back
rule.
then.
Yeah, I don't even know if they had good enough rules. They didn't have replay. I just don't know if they were prepared to deal with it. But they can, I mean, you see some of the stuff they do in instant replay right now. There's like 27 camera angles. They flip it. They're like doing like recreations of where the ball lands. I mean, they know whether or not it is. They just,
And there was a clear shot of Jeffrey Mayer reaching over the fence and in the field of play, like underneath like the top of the fence. And it clearly was not a home run, even if he didn't touch the ball. The ball would have stayed
definitely.
in the field of play had Jeffrey Mayer not bobbled the ball. He didn't even catch the ball, too.
Okay, so say they like stoppage of play or whatever. They kick this fan out. What happens in the game for this? Like, do you do the hit over? Like,
no redos in baseball.
I was gonna say like you
it's
just move
a foul
on.
ball. It actually would have the same
I see.
result.
Okay, they just changed the outcome of it. Okay. So
but
like,
essentially, a fan just gets kicked out of the game.
Okay, so they can go be like, everybody get back to whatever bases you're on. If
the
people
ground
are
rule double, which is like if the ball bounces in play and bounces out of play, or like bounces over the fence, then that's a double. Or like the other day, yesterday, Volpe almost threw the ball away. When you throw the ball away on an error, you give the runner an extra base. You don't give him infinite extra bases because he can't get the ball back, but you give him one extra base. So there's like
this is like why does sporting hate gambling? The integrity of the game, right? Doesn't this essentially affect the integrity of the game?
Yes, but with less money involved.
What if that fan had money on the game and was betting on the Brewers to win?
Oh well, then it's a bigger deal.
He did.
He might have.
I don't I think he was just a fan who was fucking with something. Like there have been fans over the last however many years in baseball games that have caught balls because when a ball's hit at you, you catch it. Right?
They're just some legit, like we were talking about this before the show about.
No. He was clearly doing this intentionally, though.
You're right. Like they're just some trolls out there, right? The person trying to spoil Agatha all along, right? For nothing but just for the fact of ruining it for everybody else.
Upset about that, Doug, right? You're upset about that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the same idea, right? It's
I had money on this episode too.
Is there a sports book for Agatha all along?
Dude, the internet tried to spoil that for me all day.
Oh, they did it. And
though I already know, I already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but I still like. I wish
it didn't get spoiled because I kept going past.
But you feel clever when you're like you figured it out, and then you see it without someone else telling you what it is before you get to see it, right?
Without giving you or anyone details, this result was one of two things. And the episode before, it said it was the other. It wasn't the other thing. It said, this is not that thing. It is the other thing. And so this episode, they're like, it's the other thing. And you're like, yeah, it's the other thing.
I haven't seen it yet.
Doug knows.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not sure to have the episode tell me that than like
although I think I know what you're talking
dude
about.
on the internet.
Yeah, there was a thing. And you thought it was one of two things. And then they were like, wait, not the first thing. You're like, oh, it's the second thing. Cool. And then this episode, they're like, oh, it's the second thing.
All right.
And now that I've confused everyone,
I'm very confused.
Thing.
Ready?
Yep, go for it, Mark.
John, when are you doing your Marvel one?
Right now.
Okay. This is not a song. It's a little wordy, but you're going to enjoy it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And the next topic, you're either foo for Goliath or you work for her. I'll tell you who her is. Sandra Nova, a megalomaniacal, psychotic asshole. Finger-licking, dead inside, pixie slab of third-rate dime store nut milk. I'll tell you what she can do. She can lick my goddamn cinnamon ring clean and kick rocks all the way to bald hell. In fact, I don't give a shit if she removes all my skin, possibly like some nightmare blood balloon. The last thing I do is in this godforsaken cum gutter existence in this light, that fuck box of fire, I still won't die happy. I won't be happy until I've urinated on her freshly barbecued corpse and fuck the charred remains while gargling juggernauts. And you can quote me.
Wow. And the quote has been read.
Pete, have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet?
No, I looked for it streaming. We were gonna watch it last weekend, and it wasn't up on Disney yet.
You gotta buy it still. You can stream it, but you gotta buy it.
Okay.
It's gonna be on Disney probably by the end of the year.
Yeah.
All right. I may just have to buy it this weekend or something so we can watch it.
That is a direct quote. We're not going to tell you.
That is a truth fact.
I'm so excited to watch it though.
It is wonderful, and it is filled with 90s X-Men joy, and you're gonna like it. Just joy. Anyway, Marvel.
Love the shirt.
If the MCU is to continue and even improve, it's going to need to continue to change. So this week, rumor has it that alternate Hulk Amadeus Cho has been cast and is coming to the MCU. Logan Kim, I don't know if you guys have watched this, but he portrays Podcast in the two most recent Ghostbusters movies, has been cast in the role. So we might remember his mother, Helen Cho, colleague of Bruce Banner, when she was introduced in the 2015 movie Avengers Age of Ultron. So I personally need as many Incredible Hulk properties as they'll give me. So Cho has been around in comics since 2005 and does eventually succeed Bruce Banner as the comics' main Hulk in a series called Totally Awesome Hulk, which made me laugh. So, what do you think about the new younger generation that the MCU has been introducing over the last few years, and what project in 2025 are you the most excited about? Doug.
So, this is a little bit beyond me. So I actually
Side note, Amadeus Cho, or that is Logan Kim, is a tiny little peanut of a man. Because
he was a child in Ghostbusters.
And he was a child in the new the Age of Frozen Ultron.
Is he like one of those kids that's just always small?
I don't know.
Did you? You saw the first Ghostbusters. He is the random friend with the camera that she meets in the weird
Yeah,
random.
I saw them both.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still.
So
Yeah.
I had to like remind myself who that lady was you were talking about, his mom.
Yeah, it's the girl with the skin powers, with the skin technology. Puts Clint's skin.
She made. Well, didn't she make Vision?
She in the beginning.
She had a
Clint gets
part in
hurt,
it, I thought, right?
Right. They fight Hydra. They come back. Clint's hurt. Bruce calls, "Hey, I have this friend." She brings the
puts
skin.
him in the thing.
Puts him in the thing, right? And then they have the coffin thing, and the coffin thing is the thing that they use to build Vision.
Okay. All right. Good. So yeah.
So you're close.
So her in the comics, her son becomes a Hulk.
Yes.
Oh, that's
her name is
interesting.
Cho, and he's like a skinny Hulk. And the thing about Amadeus Cho as a Hulk is he never goes into a violent death rage. He's just like smart. But also,
I also read that he retains his like himself. Like he's not like Bruce Banner is Bruce Banner and Hulk.
Right. So it's kind of like the Mark Ruffalo like Avengers Infinity War and Endgame Hulk, right? Where he's like still him, but he's like half Hulk and half him.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, do we think that this is one Mark Ruffalo not wanting to be in an Avengers movie anymore because it's not cool?
I don't know about not cool. Maybe he's just feel like he's done everything he can with the character.
Well, all the OGs want out. They want to do other shit.
It's
which
been
is
like
fine.
almost
like
20 years.
Yeah, they've done a lot.
It's been a long time. They all made it. They all made enough money.
Also,
I feel like they're gonna make all these new Marvel movies and just come back and bring back the actors as a different character, like they're doing with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Fantastic Four, right? But that supposedly is actually comic accurate, which I had no idea until
It is.
I don't know how.
I mean, potentially.
No, not potentially. I mean, Tony becomes a different universe. Tony becomes Doctor Doom, comes back to Earth 616.
Well, they were calling. Didn't you say at Comic-Con they kept calling him Victor Von Doom though?
That is true. The Russo brothers did say Victor Von Doom a number of times, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. They might not do comic accurate because they have so many outs now. This is the thing that I've been worried about for 5 years, that they just have so many storytelling fuck ups.
The multiverse.
They have time travel and multiverse. They have shapeshifters. They do whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like the comics. Eventually, it just gets way too confusing, and they go, "All right, reset issue number 1 again."
There has been now 3 times where the DC universe, because of speedsters, has fucked up so bad that they have just pulled the ripcord and done a reset. 3 times, and I mean, the comics aren't like the Marvel comics aren't in a much better space. Like, they don't like the not the Kree, they don't like the shapeshifters. The shapeshifters, they're like, it's a shapeshifter. You're fine.
I think it's also the MCU kind of almost in a way experiencing a type of mortality that comic books never have, right? You have, sure, you change illustrators here and, after some have a run, but like those characters in the comics, if you don't want them to age, you can draw them the same way indefinitely. And that's kind of the case, right? Like a lot of these Marvel storylines, probably DC too, it's, what do they call it? A rolling or sliding timeline where these characters do kind of age and time progresses, but like so much more slowly.
Well, you can set a movie in whatever year you want.
Yeah,
so
but like,
even though
it's like they're always time relevant, but they're always also still like the same age. It's just kind of, it's like The Simpsons.
With the blip, they did this 5-year thing. So they put the current age of the MCU 5 years ahead of us, but then they've been coming out very slowly, and they've been purposely lowering the projects. So I mean, they could say it happened whenever. I think the much more interesting part of this question, and again, I think we're getting a little distracted, is the focus on A, diversity, and B, youth. So we're writing the stories specifically to introduce diverse young characters, which I really like.
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to get at though with the mortality thing is. Unlike the comics, the actors that did all these things, they aged out.
But I think it's less that. I think it's more trying to hit a specific demographic, and the demographic has now shifted. The demographic is still the same. The MCU comic book movies, they still hit, males 18 to 35, right, or whatever.
Right.
But those people are different, so it's not necessarily
Yeah.
that the characters have to be different, but that characters have to look like the people who are watching the movies. And I mean, I
True.
think that's one of the joys.
Okay,
That's one of
yeah,
the
I see what you
joys
mean.
of comic books, right? Is
Yeah.
the fact that you can see yourself being a hero. And I've said that a lot of times.
Yep.
But,
So they're trying to kind of do that with the MCU now, where like, hey, let's introduce some different kinds of characters, different ages, different like.
And I think
appearance.
Marvel has done a pretty good job. They've probably had more hits than misses when it comes to casting. I mean, they've had some pretty big misses, but they've had some really good hits as well.
I'm so
we'll see.
excited
Sure.
for the Thunderbolts movie. My
Yeah,
God.
I was while looking at this while I was doing my own research, and I did see that Thunderbolts is coming out. Looks like in May, and it's almost like it's essentially Marvel's version of Suicide Squad, right?
Is that what that is?
So
Florence Pugh's in
why-
it.
What's the?
Why should
Doug,
I
do we
be
know what the
excited?
asterisks about yet?
Yeah.
No,
What's
right? Because I don't.
What?
There's an asterisk at the end of the title officially.
There's an asterisk.
Thunderbolts
Yeah,
asterisks.
yeah.
what? Yeah. So
I think it's the main villain. They're not really revealing.
I mean, Florence
doing-
Florence Pugh alone makes me excited for this.
They're
But tell
doing
me
Sebastian
what.
Leader.
Stan's in it. David Harbour is also
And the
in it.
callback
Okay.
from Leader is actually from way back in the beginning of the MCU to the second Incredible Hulk movie, where the guy who becomes Leader is a Hulk villain, falls into a vat and gets a big brain, and he becomes a really smart supervillain.
As one does.
Giancarlo Esposito is going to be in it. He's going to be he's going to be in Captain America, so Giancarlo Esposito is getting announced. But I really think we're in a good transition. I think that they're bringing back a couple of really key characters to make everybody happy. They're going to get to X-Men, which is going to make everybody really happy.
That's gonna make us happy.
But I love Haley Steinfeld and Florence Pugh in the roles that they have currently. I love the beginning of the Thunderbolts trailer. She literally walks into like an old house in Jersey, and David Harbour's Red Guardian is like yelling at Grubhub, or like, I'm calling the DoorDash people. I'm going to complain. This service is very terrible. And she comes and she's like, oh, Dad, what's going on? He's like, I am very busy doing lots of very important things. I mean, that's amazing.
So, but to
John's
Doug's
Russian accent is always on point.
that was pretty good.
On point.
To Doug's question though, like what? I guess Doug, were you saying like what in the lore should get us excited about Thunderbolts? Like what?
Right, like
What's the
why
story
should I
about,
be
yeah.
excited for this movie?
Fucking Sentry. Jesus Christ. We're getting Marvel Superman.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't know what that.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know that character either.
Sentry is Marvel Superman. We are getting Sentry in Thunderbolts. Confirmed.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. All right. I mean, and it's got a few other characters that are actors that are really good. So
the thing you should be excited about is Bucky takes his arm off and washes it in the dishwasher.
That
okay, that is pretty exciting. Okay, fine.
I did LOL at that.
You should be excited about Abomination comes out of a room where they're being murdered, and he's like, guys, it is okay. This is like Abomination from the She-Hulk, where he gets like super weird. He's like kind of just like a cool, chill guy.
Okay.
It looks incredible. I don't really like U.S. Agent moping around, but I didn't really like U.S. Agent the first time.
Do you think this has a potential to hit like lightning in a bottle, like Guardians of the Galaxy did, where before Guardians of the Galaxy came out, everybody was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what? Like, why is there a talking raccoon?" And then after the movie, it's like, "This is amazing! Like, this is one of the best things Marvel has done."
I don't know if it's gonna hit, but
No.
unlike the last couple of years, they have done the groundwork again. There is probably 15 properties. These guys have been stretched along 5 years, 10 years. I mean, they have definitely put in the work. I think of the characters, like Yelena Belova hit the hardest. She is very, very good. But I think Florence Pugh is very, very charismatic.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's going to be
Florence Pugh.
great. Sebastian Stan is very, very good as Winter Soldier. So he's back.
Okay.
There's a no-name playing Sentry, so that'll be fun. I like no-names in big roles, especially in these big properties.
By the way, a Dark Horse thing coming in 2025. By the way, you said, what are you excited about? Daredevil Board Again. I forgot that's coming out this year or next year.
Yeah.
I worked on the original Netflix series, and they were so, not only were they so fun to watch, they were fun to work on too. It was just cool shit, and like the way they filmed all that stuff was awesome. Like the raw footage looked
It's
great.
scene of him going down that tunnel in the dark, beating the shit out of all those guards.
The one,
Yeah.
the single camera.
That was amazing.
I don't think that
Like,
was
I don't know, like,
actually
this
one.
is-
I don't think that
Single
was
camera, no
actually
cut?
one take.
Ah,
They were
totally
very
did it.
clever with how they cut
I'm
it
gonna
out.
believe. I'm gonna believe that they did it.
But
And they
you
did
know,
in the
Pete?
in the second season. They did a different style one take fight scene.
To their credit, though, I will say a lot of the stuff we did for the visual effects on it was just removing a stunt wire here or there, or like a neck harness here or there. Like, yeah, no, the raw footage is literally them slamming Charlie Cox through a sheet
Mark,
of glass.
Mark,
Like, I mean,
take-
that actually happens. It's like, oh, so you did this. You just gave him a tiny pad back there that I got to paint out. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Secrets
Here
of the
we
trade.
go.
It's
But, like,
over.
right,
Congratulations,
whereas-
Yankees.
Normally they'd be like, we'll
Yeah.
make the glass in CG. No. Like Daredevil, they actually throw people through fucking glass. Like, that's what I'm excited for.
So I know we're out of time, but going back to Thunderbolts, so I was looking up the director, who is Jake Shearer.
He's done a number of them.
Shirer. I don't know. I was looking up his IMDb. He hasn't really done anything that good.
Have I done more projects than he has? I'm just kidding.
He has
Yeah,
directed
45.
29 projects.
Oh no, Pete better.
I mean,
Pete better.
But
So-
here's the thing: do you want the Russos to do another project? Do you want?
No, I
Um,
want John Favreau to do everything.
Yeah,
yes.
but he doesn't. We saw it. He doesn't take these meetings anymore.
I know he's too much of a big man now.
Anyway, we're t-
Oh, also Captain America. I think we've talked about this before. Harrison Ford is in the new
Wait,
Captain.
I just
yeah.
saw that.
He's the president.
he's
the
Red Hulk,
president.
baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
Red Hulk, by the way, terrifying.
I can imagine. I mean, Harrison Ford
Red
playing
Hulk's
any character
skin
that turns
is
into a Hulk is enough.
Is warm because of the way they did his Hulk powers. So he literally is hot to the touch, like burning hot to the touch.
That's cool. And it's
Quite
Harrison
right.
Ford. I'll watch anything he does.
All right, we're way over time now. All right.
All right, sorry.
We'd like to thank another fake sponsor, the Stretch Lab. Increase your flexibility and performance with the Stretch Lab. Our guided stretching routines help you avoid injury and recover faster. The Stretch Lab. Reach further, play harder.
I need that for my neck. Like right now. That sounds amazing.
Now, I ain't saying it's the next topic, but we ain't waiting to go broke.
Nice. That was good.
Did we get which song?
Get
that
down,
was from?
girl. Go ahead. Get down.
Yeah, you did.
Get
You
down,
did.
girl.
All
Go
right.
ahead. Get down. Get down, girl. Go ahead. Get down.
All right. Admittedly, one of
Oh,
our
that
favorite
pretty fast.
podcasts is the New Horizons podcast with the Kelsey brothers, Jason and Travis.
Hmm.
Travis has stayed in the headlines due to his relationship with a certain female pop star and being a
Yeah.
two-time defending Super Bowl champion as well.
And being a famous podcast host, Jesus.
Yeah, while also hosting an episode of SNL and appearing in commercials for Pfizer, Pepsi, and DirecTV. And his older brother Jason recently retired from the game, but he's also been on the TV a lot, including advertisements for Buffalo Wild Wings, Tide, and promotions for the NFL and ESPN. Not to mention his
Didn't he
many
do
guest appearances in the TV booth while games are being broadcasted. So everyone, are Travis and Jason Kelsey getting overexposed?
I don't think so. I
Yes.
think that they are. I think they're really very good for television.
As long
And
as
I
they're
think it's-
entertaining.
They're taking advantage of their popularity. That's what
and
they're
I
doing,
think
right?
it's probably because they still seem pretty normal, right? Like
Yeah.
you see them hanging out. You see them hanging out with their buddies. You see them going to the club. You see.
I mean,
them,
whenever
like,
Jason Kelsey takes his shirt off, right?
whenever Jason Kelsey takes his
Yeah.
shirt off
Yes.
and dances around in a luchador mask, like you've been
Ugh.
there before. Like I don't know. They seem really approachable. They really do.
I will say
And
him doing that at the Bills Chiefs game last year made me less upset in that game because it's like, okay, at least that's funny and he's having a good time.
That was incredible.
What do we
Yeah.
What do we feel about? Okay, so Liam's like maybe Liam's 8, like that little girl, and you're at the Bills game, and Jason Kelsey's like just like picks him up, just brings him into the room with Taylor Swift. We're feeling good about that. I don't know.
Well, Liam be like, who the hell is this?
Right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, who's this guy?
We did this woman.
What if it was like Jamie though, John, who knows Taylor Swift, but it would also be absolutely terrified of a giant shirtless man like.
What if it was
picking
me?
her
What if
up?
Jason Kelsey picked me up and brought me to Taylor Swift?
No,
First of
and
all.
I am not
Right.
concerned about her meeting Taylor Swift or being brought to her. I'm more concerned about the giant, hairy, sweaty man.
Exactly. John would be
When
like,
she was 8.
it would be the exact same thing as if
Nah,
like.
it's good.
Right,
It's
like
good,
the
man.
quarterback does a way too daring thing, but it ends up good in the end, like a big touchdown. Where John's just like, no, wait, yes. When she realizes like what the hell, like get away from my. Never mind, you put her next to Taylor Swift. You're good.
Like the effort, the thought is good, but the effort, maybe not so much.
Right, the
The
method.
thing is, John, everyone at that game was drunk, including the 8-year-old, so it's okay.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah, they were all at the Bills tailgate.
Did you hear that Jason
really wanted to go through a table that day, and so
Did he?
Oh,
Yeah, he
That
literally
seems on brand.
roamed. That seems on brand.
roamed the tailgate and drank with everyone. I don't know if he ended up going with the table, but he got fucking hammered.
He jumped through a table.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah.
gotta look.
So he
we
got
gotta
the
look
full-
up the video for that.
I want to see that. Yeah.
He's a
So he got the full
complete
Bills
madman.
tailgating experience then.
Yeah, he did the whole thing.
Okay. See, I like
I
that.
really
I feel like he was there to, yeah, I'm sure he was rooting for his brother, and right, of course, it makes sense, like for the Chiefs, but like he embraced the city of Buffalo too in doing that. So I have more respect for him now. That's pretty cool.
I think. Listen, he's just playing the old man, I'm retired game, and I just want to do whatever the fuck I want to do.
He just wants to have a lot of fun in a good game. Yeah, exactly.
And I said this recently to Melanie. Actually, we just had this conversation. Everyone who gets reasonably famous in the NFL wants to become famous after the NFL. You still want to be rich. You still want to make money.
Obviously.
You still want people to know you. And
Well, you got to have a
there
career
is-
of some kind after, and
have to
that's a
have career
great
of
segue.
something. And being in movies, being in TV shows. I mean, Travis has said that he wants to be a broadcaster when he's done. He's said it. That is the plan. And I had theorized earlier in the season that his lack of focus this year, even though the Chiefs are playing great, his lack of focus this year is the fact that he's dating a mega superstar that he spent the whole entire summer on tour.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's like one of her
has-
dancers on tour now,
He
right?
has a nationally recognized podcast, that he has been in a TV show, that he's going to be in a movie. Like, he doesn't have time for football anymore.
Do you think he already has one
He
foot out
should
the door
just
mentally?
retire.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he does. Now, did I just trade for him to try to win his fantasy season? Before he retires and before Derrick Henry retires? Yes, I did. I did definitely do that.
All right, so he
But-
could play really well in the regular season, and then when your fantasy season's over and we get to the playoffs, and somehow they end
Listen.
up playing the Bills again, he can
The
then he
idea-
can have a foot out the door and retire.
The idea of him on the Chiefs with Rashee Rice injured for the whole season made me feel very. He's gonna eat. He's gonna eat at least this year.
He definitely got a lot more targets the last game. That's for sure.
As long as Rice is out, I mean, who else does Mahomes have? Hardman?
Juju got a good amount.
Juju, that's true. Juju had a good game.
Yeah, they just
Worthy.
signed him, and Kareem Hunt too. They picked him up off the.
The ageless wonder running back.
He likes
Yeah.
cheeseburgers.
So does Andy Reid. That's why they get along so well.
I mean, he could just throw the refs. I mean, they're playing for the
Done.
Chiefs too.
Yeah.
I saw the best TikTok video of that, and it's like this guy opening up a box, and it's like about to open up my
I
box
saw
with
that, I saw that.
with my new Chiefs jersey, and it's the referee zebra.
It's so.
Two things to round out this topic. Jason Kelsey did not jump through a table at a Bills tailgate. He did it at a
Aw, sad
planned
panda.
firefighter event after the tailgate because his wife told him, "Do not jump through the table."
But he did anyway at this planned event, though. Which is
He did.
Isn't that
hilarious.
nice to know? No matter how famous you may get, your wife still will be smarter than you.
They're still the
Yeah.
boss.
And then
She is a force, by the way, Kylie Kelsey.
she's great.
I mean, if she's got to put up with Jason, I believe it.
And then also in his Buffalo Wild Wings commercial, he dipped his chicken wing in ranch, and I wanted to throw my TV through the window.
Ouch. You know, I was really starting to like you, Jason Kelsey.
No.
Just
Oh, he went down a peg in my book.
did not stick the
Buffalo
landing there.
sin did not
Oof.
All right. Mark, do a thing.
Sorry. So I'm watching the 49ers game now.
Okay.
I thought it was
John, when are you doing the Bills
really wrong, but it's not.
topic?
I wanted to do it last.
Ooh, okay. All right. I gotta.
Go ahead, Pete.
We were talking about if we had like money before. So it's if I had $1 million, if I had $1 million, I'd buy you the next topic. A nice, reliant conversational piece.
Real next topic. So to celebrate Doug, I wrote 2 movie questions, and we're going to do the other one with the box office failure of Joker 2, Folie à Deux, and the upcoming travesty that I'll still definitely see, that is Gladiator 2. I started thinking about unnecessary sequels to classically good films. And so the Joker and the Gladiator and many others over the years. So Gladiator 2 has apparently been discussed since 2001, is in production since 2018, so it's got to be good, right? Do we think that some movies should be standalone works of art, or do we like a good unnecessary sequel? And can you think of any examples?
So Beetlejuice 2 was good.
I heard that was
That
good.
was good.
Nostalgia.
I want to see that now.
It was very
I mean,
good.
It's worth seeing.
I don't necessarily know if good is the word, but it was fun.
We had a blast. You're right. I mean, it's not as good as the first one, but it was enjoyable. We took Nora with us, and we all went to the theater, got the big thing of popcorn and stuff, and spent $1 billion. But it was fun. It was a fun movie. It was great.
I'd go to a movie.
Yes.
And then with the makeup, we don't realize that Michael Keaton is old because he looked the same.
I mean, that's the great part about that role.
I was thinking that Beetlejuice did look a little older, and how do you age as a ghost?
Who cares, though? I mean,
I think he was just really stressed at his job. That's what I was telling myself.
look, I mean, if you get your head shrunk at the end of the first movie, to have it restored it's going to do some damage, probably.
The job of a demon in purgatory.
Right. And then there's Bob. Bob was a great
Bob.
character.
I love Bob.
Can we just focus for a second on
I got to see that.
What is Gladiator 2 about?
I have no idea. I think
remember, this is a movie.
I have an idea.
This is a period action movie that won an Academy Award for Best Picture. It's a Best Picture movie.
Yeah, but that was a weak year.
But
I know it still won.
It still won.
I have a feeling it's about gladiators.
Are there more gladiators? Is Pedro Pascal a gladiator?
Yes.
So they have a little connective tissue. They kept the scholar. They kept the philosopher. The short little white-haired man, and he's in this movie. And then what's her face is still the queen. So a little connective tissue. Hey, same time period, but I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, Joaquin's dead, right? So he's not in it.
Yeah, Joaquin's dead. Russell Crowe's dead. They both died at the end. They died at the end
Russell Crowe
But
did
the Roman
die,
Empire did not die.
It's like making a Titanic 2. Like, would you guys watch Titanic 2? This is the kind of question. This is the kind of thing I want to talk about.
I mean,
they didn't make another Titanic, though.
No,
Yeah.
It's just a rehashing of the original movie with updated special effects and probably throw a ton of CGI in it just to make everything look good. I mean, that's essentially what this is.
Yeah. Wasn't there actually... It kind of looks CGI, but wasn't that actually a real fucking tiger in the first Gladiator?
That was a real fucking tiger.
Fucking tiger.
Scary, right?
This is back in 2000, right? That's
yeah,
and
2001,
if you guys don't
I
have any
think.
examples, let's talk about remaking Joker, which was an excellent movie.
Yeah,
like,
that needed,
movie.
and also the way it ended, it just needed to stand on its own.
Just needed to stand on its own, and not only that, and I like musicals. I do, but they made the second movie with Lady Gaga musical, and it's supposed to be crazy, just wacko.
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't seen it yet, but someone told me it was too sing-songy.
Too sing-songy,
Yeah, it seems like Lady Gaga is awesome, and I mean, dude, she crushed it singing in French at the Paris Olympics, like. But I don't need to see.
She was great in Star Is Born. She was great at Gucci. She's a great actress.
And I feel like she could play a great Harley Quinn, but I don't need to see the Joker, like a serious movie like Joker, become Joker the musical with her in it. Like that seems weird. Like bad,
and that's a good point.
Bad executive decisions there.
Nobody has an original idea. Nobody can make an original idea anymore. And movies have not been original for a really long time.
I don't even know mean, you can't really name an original movie that hit it big in the last 50 years. Like even Star Wars was just kind of a spin on Buck Rogers, in cowboy movies. I mean,
Yeah.
there really hasn't been original ideas in Hollywood. They're always based on something else, but it's just how well
How good do they do
make
it?
and
Yeah.
how good it's received.
Pedro
with the
Martinez
audience.
got so fat.
Oh, is he in the Joker movie too?
Oh my god, he's so fat. So like, I don't know. Like the thing is, Joker was an original idea, even though it's a movie about a comic book property. That movie was not a comic book movie.
No, it's a completely different take on it.
Well, I think that's why people didn't like it, because they're expecting this to be like the Batman Joker, and it's not.
No.
Like this,
But people
it's,
like Joker up until
people like Joker, yeah, when
Up
he's
until
going up
Deadpool
against Batman.
But no. Joker the movie with
The first one, yeah.
the first
They
one.
did. You're right. You're right.
That
Which is
movie was
also
not
one of my
about-
credits on
Batman
IMDb, by the way.
Batman wasn't in that movie. That movie was about
No, he
mental
wasn't.
health.
Yeah.
Oh
That
no,
movie was about
they,
psychosis.
Didn't he go up to
That
Wayne
movie
Manor
was
though? In that
the
movie?
Wayne Manor was
Yeah.
it. Like it's in
That movie was
it's-
essentially falling down.
Yeah, and
Remember
Bruce
Falling Down
Wayne
with
actually
with Michael
does make an
Douglas?
appearance in it too.
As a little
Yeah,
kid,
as a
I think
little
so,
boy.
yeah. Right. You
Oh, yeah.
see Alfred, don't you?
No, that was at the end when they tried to connect it to the universes. They
Well,
were
he
just
went to
like,
the
oh,
gate
right, it's the same
and there's
thing.
a little boy.
Yeah, that's supposed to be
and
Bruce.
he talks to him. Yeah.
Yep. But
And then I think people thought that when the Batman movie that came out with what's his face, the vampire
Pattinson?
boy.
oh yeah.
I
I
gave
think
The
they
Batman,
thought those
yeah.
movies are going to be tied.
I
together,
gave that
but-
movie another shot.
That would be interesting.
I didn't originally like the Batman, but I gave it another shot because I was really interested in the Penguin show, and the Penguin show is actually very, very, very good.
I mean,
I
Okay, yeah, I would like to watch.
I
I
watched
didn't-
it a second time, and I really did actually.
it's
I like
Robert,
the
Robert
Batman
Pattinson,
movie. It
right?
was
As
just really long. Yeah.
I hate Robert Pattinson as Batman. I think he's worse than Ben Affleck.
Really?
I really do.
I
I
guess
think he's trying to. He's too much like his character. I think in Twilight.
okay, so maybe I had the advantage of never watching Twilight, but I didn't mind it because I just treated it as like this is a crime solving movie.
Well,
Well,
that's I thought it was like a buddy cop movie too.
A little bit, yeah.
That's the same thing that if you watch the Penguin show, even though it's about the Penguin and it's in Gotham, there's no superhero stuff. There's no, Cape Crusaders and crime. It's literally just a crime drama about a mafia family.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But the
I mean, which
characters-
is a lot of the the crime in Gotham is all
yeah.
based on the
Sure.
mafia. So it's a great intake into that realm of the
So-
seedy underworld.
Yeah.
Side note, to finish this up, I figured out recently because I was looking at it with Jamie that Gotham is New Jersey.
Really?
How do you
Gotham
figure?
was Chicago.
Yeah, I
'cause
always thought
the
it was
mob?
Chicago.
I was gonna
No,
say
it's
Chicago.
New
Gotham was
Jersey.
Chicago
Jersey?
and Metropolis was New York.
Metropolis is New York, and Gotham is New Jersey. It's off the coast.
Oh, and the
If you
Flash
look at
City is supposed to be Seattle, I think.
Oh, just because geographically speaking, they're right next to each other, right?
the map. Right
Hmm.
next to each other, geographically speaking.
I did
Yes,
not
you
know
can say
that.
There, I
Yeah,
looked up a
swore
map.
it was. Well, the architecture is certainly modeled after Chicago. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But no, that's fascinating.
Anyway, we're at time.
This the Google says Gotham is modeled after New York. Which I didn't think that
It's
was
well, they call New York City Gotham sometimes.
Hmm.
But the feel
Okay,
of it
so
is,
Gotham
I think the
City's
feel of it,
Social
you're right, is more
City.
like Chicago.
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I think it
Or
is.
like a weird blending
but
of the
I
two,
get-
maybe.
Heroes and their heroes.
By the way, I don't know how I did this, John. I wrote the same exact topic as you.
Yeah?
So I have to do one on the fly.
Oh no! Didn't you guys do this? Did you guys look at each other's topics now?
I did, and for whatever reason, I forgot that he wrote this. I don't know.
Uh oh.
But that's I have something in my mind, and it's going to make John really obnoxious.
Awesome. Bring it.
And we kind of talked about it already. Anyway,
so wait,
here we go.
You wrote a Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Really?
Starring
Yeah.
starring Aaron
amazing.
Rodgers now.
Actually, this is the topic. It was really more like what show or movie would we like to have remade or some sort of reunion, because Hollywood doesn't have any new original ideas.
Wow.
Wow,
we're so
that's
smart.
strikingly
But
similar.
I mentioned Gladiator 2. I mentioned Beetlejuice. There were some others that I didn't realize. Like, do you know they're making another Naked Gun?
What?
Oh,
Is Leslie
with who?
Nielsen
With
still
Leslie
alive?
Nielsen. With Leslie
No.
Nielsen.
I thought he's dead.
He's an
Apparently
AI now.
not.
It's fine.
Apparently not. But the number one thing that I'm really looking forward to, Spaceballs 2.
The search for more money.
No.
They
There's more
are
money.
filming
Yes.
it right now. They are
you
filming
serious?
it right now.
Okay, if you're gonna go down this road, I just watched it was a
No, I'm not
Comic-Con
going
retro
down. We
panel.
just talked about this.
No, I know. I was gonna say in addition to that, I was watching a thing about it was Lance Guest and the leading lady in The Last Starfighter, and apparently they've been trying to redo or do a sequel to that for like 40 years, and they're finally doing it.
And Leslie Nielsen passed away in 2010.
So it's gonna be AI Leslie Nielsen.
It's going to be
Yeah,
Leslie
Leslie
Nielsen.
Mark, say your question.
Yes.
We have to move on.
All right.
Everywhere I look, I see things that remind me of her.
Now, this looks like the time to see. So, everybody, just follow me. It goes need a little controversy because it's time for the next topic. Yes, you see?
Na 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 na.
So, as you said before, John and I apparently copied the same topic, of which that's more my fault than his because he's the one that does the topics first, and I'm supposed to go off of that. But anyway, we're gonna do a little improv right now. We went on this a little bit more. I'm sorry, a little bit earlier. New York sports teams seem to be back in the fold with regards to being champions or at least being contenders. With the Yankees winning tonight, the Mets winning the night before, and the Liberty being the WNBA Finals. Everyone, but mainly John, are New York sports teams back in the mix for being ultimate contenders?
I don't think they were ever out of the mix, honestly.
Well-
They haven't won a title since 2009.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. I'm not
Go
talking
ahead,
about
John.
titles either.
Just go off.
The
Just go
Yankees have
Go.
been competitive almost every season since then, except for last season, for somehow. The Knicks recently have had their mojo back, but that's been a couple of years. The Giants have been bad. True story. The
Giants are not a
bad.
New York team. They play in New Jersey.
Thank you,
My
Doug.
mom plays in New Jersey.
Dare you?
Right
Oh
off
my
the top.
god.
Right
Damn.
like that.
John is riled up
My
right now.
parents are listening.
Riled up.
She's
I
not
mean,
Ugh.
I think that New York sports is very interesting, and it's very interesting because there is a high degree of success that is assumed, but it isn't always maintained. Right? Knicks always sell out, but they haven't been good in a long time. The Rangers always sell out, but they haven't been good in a long time. And so it's one of those questions that are like money and like even like recognition doesn't necessarily come with like goodness.
the Rangers in first place like 2 years ago. And lost everything was around.
Last season and this season before they've been good. But they haven't been good since. I mean, they just got good again. Same with the Knicks. The Knicks just got good again. But I don't know. I think sports is kind of cyclical, right?
Oh, sure.
Of course.
Teams are good and then they're bad. And I think another thing, specifically in baseball, because I literally just heard Bob Costas explain this to me. The new playoff rules with the wild card play-in, and it has allowed teams like the Royals and teams like the Tigers to compete because you're now not having to win 95 and 100 games to get into the baseball playoffs. You're having to win 85 or 89. Like those are the teams that are getting in.
Well,
now.
that was the good thing about baseball playoffs, though. It was so selective in who made the playoffs, and now it seems like anyone can make the playoffs, even though it's still not nearly as many teams as the other major professional leagues. But it's just there used to be only 4 teams that made it in the playoffs. When baseball had 4 divisions, each divisional winner made it into the playoffs, and they had their series, and then they had the World Series, and that was it for baseball. Now we have 4 rounds of baseball playoffs.
Yeah, they're selling a shitload of tickets and they're selling a shitload of TV rights
Because
and they're
they
making
want
a
the
whole
money,
ton of
right?
money.
It's all about the dollar
Now,
bills, y'all.
I have an interesting question. Let's just pivot off New York being successful. What is better for sports? Big markets being successful or small markets being successful?
Well, what's
And
defined
big
better?
Better for the overall
I mean,
game.
I guess
Bottom
better
line?
in terms
money?
of the MLB,
Popularity,
right, where
let's say,
you
better.
need like MLB's ratings have been right in kind of limbo or actually kind of on life support for a while. So maybe
Honestly, they're much better. They've been better for like 2 or 3 years.
okay, yeah, and
We're very excited that an East Coast and West Coast team are playing against each other in the World Series. Like that's huge.
yeah, but
Two big teams.
And I think
I mean, we're not there yet. We're getting there.
If you're really trying to push the ratings, right? Like, I mean, I guess what is better than these big spotlight, large market teams making it far, right? I mean, you're going to get that many more viewers doing it that way.
That's Rob Manfred's wet dream there, is to have the Dodgers and the Yankees make it into the World Series.
No, but is Dodgers Yankees better? Is Dodgers Mets better? Or Yankees Mets better? Or is Yankees Padres better? Like, what's the best World Series?
In all seriousness, you want a West Coast and an East Coast team. That's what you want.
Or let's forget all of that big market team. Let's say is the Tigers and the Padres the best World Series? Like,
no one gives a shit about that except the Padres fans and the Tigers fans.
Right, which are fewer than
nobody
those
gives
other
a shit
teams.
about the Tigers and the Padres. And last year, nobody gave a shit about the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. I bet you didn't even know that was the World Series last year.
I did not.
Right?
It was an awful World
Nobody
Series.
cared.
Nobody cared. Nobody watched it.
You know what the ad? You know what the ad for the playoffs this year is? I just saw it yesterday. They're playing up on All Rise and Showtime, and they're saying there's two generational players in this playoffs, which is incredible for baseball.
What, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, Aaron Judge and Shohei.
Yankees Dodgers?
Yankees Dodgers. It's the ad. It's what they want. They're like,
I told
hey guys,
you.
look.
Yeah.
So
what if it ends up being a Subway Series? I mean, that was.
I mean,
didn't that happen when we were in college?
Only East Coast will care about that.
It was in
it happened. It happened in the 2000s.
It was like 01 or something, right?
01, maybe.
Yeah.
So somewhere in there.
Jeff and I were very excited. And it's going. If there's one again, I'm going to be hard pressed not to go with Jeff, and I don't have $600.
You'll figure it out.
$600? That's funny, John. You think it's going to cost only
$6,000? Probably.
That series was so big that even me, who doesn't.
Sorry, Jamie, I can't afford your tuition this year because I went to the World Series.
I went to the World Series.
It's probably going to be.
Are we going? Don't make me go, Jeff. Make me go.
Are they good? All right. In all seriousness, John, will the Yankees or Mets make it to the World Series? Do you honestly think?
I think we can beat the Tigers. I don't know if we can beat the Guardians. I think the Tigers is a quick series, and I think the Guardians is a long series. 6 or 7 games against the Guardians. And the Guardians look like they're probably going to win. They're winning today. So the Yankees and the Guardians also have a little bit of a... They don't really like each other recently. So, like, the playoffs last year were very tense. So, I mean...
They're doing a Game 5, right?
Yeah, they're doing it.
And that will air by the time this show is on
So we
audio?
will know.
Mm-hmm.
We will know. And then theoretically we'll be at the World Series by the time Jeff comes on the podcast and we can talk about it. It's going to be very exciting. And then maybe if we go, we'll broadcast from the World Series. Oh my God, so exciting.
That does sound
Good
fun.
Good luck with that.
No,
Stay tuned.
We'll
see.
I totally knew John was going to be obnoxious with this topic.
I think
Just like, I'm going to indulge my co-host here.
I think the focus of this question has to be is big market playoff sports better or is small market?
No, that was not the topic.
No, but I think that's the gist of it.
I mean
that
definitely became a sub part of the topic.
Wait, if you are in charge of a sports league, you essentially want both. You want both. Big markets have the teams. In all seriousness, you probably want a big market team to face a small market team, but you also want it to be West Coast versus East Coast. So essentially, Yankees Padres would probably be a really good
Is that the best World Series for baseball?
No, I don't. I actually think this year it is Dodgers and Yankees. I said that when we had Eric on here. Do I think that's going to happen? No, and I didn't think that was going to happen even before this episode. Because the
Dodgers got angry and they smacked the Padres around.
Yeah, they did. But I don't know. I think the
the
Padres got their number. I think they're going to win. And that series will end by the time this comes out.
Side note: I think the Mets might actually be the team of destiny. I think they're going to probably go to the World Series.
Wow.
You see Lindor? Lindor hit a grand slam last night.
He had to.
Oh.
They didn't score any runs before then.
He did.
1986 was the last time they actually won the World Series.
The Mets?
Yeah.
Yes. I remember that. Bill Buckner. Woo!
Hey! And on Bill Buckner, Mark, do you know what time it is?
Try and make this work this time. It's
No.
oh! Let's try it again. It's the
I almost
final topic.
That
That was
worked.
perfect. Do it like that every time.
Somehow that worked. That was amazing.
Mark, you're so good at
Sounded great.
broadcasting. I love you, man. So Buffalo Boys, I wasn't gonna let you out scot-free. Looking at the Buffalo
Damn,
Bills.
we almost got away with it.
Also was almost one of my topics, by the way.
Looking at the Buffalo Bills' first 5 weeks of the season gets you thinking, are they good? The first 3 weeks came with a ton of points and wins, but now we see the fall of the Dolphins, and those wins maybe were against bad teams. So now with 2 losses in a row against top 10 teams, the weaknesses of the Buffalo Bills are coming to light. The wide receiver room's lack of production is a glaring issue, and most were concerned about that before the season started. With only 4 combined catches this past Sunday on a total of 18 targets during a Week 5 loss, it certainly seems that way. So Pete and Doug, are the Bills good? And what do they need to turn this season around? And also, is Sean McDermott still actually the problem?
Do you want to go
So-
first, Doug?
No one thought the Bills were going to be good this season. Pretty much everyone had them at 8 and 9 or whatever. They came
Yeah, but you
out.
won 3 in a row. Blue team's
I know,
out.
well,
You were good. They were
right,
like,
when you
this
came
is so
out winning
exciting.
3 games in a row, it's like, oh, wait, maybe all they need is Josh Allen, and they can turn this around. And Joe Brady's doing good as a new offensive coordinator. So they look promising, and then that all changed the last 2 weeks.
Those are the first 2 good teams you played because you thought you beat
Right.
Miami. This is what I was trying to say. You thought you beat Miami. You thought Miami was good, but Miami's bad.
Well, Miami was good when
So-
Tua was throwing balls. And
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
They did not look good in that game.
no,
And then you
Wow.
killed him again. You killed
My
him again,
fantasy
you guys.
football team
I know.
said they were good, but well, I still don't think they're bad. I think this is growing pains. We have basically a brand new team this year. Almost like more than half of the team did not return. So that's gonna, you need to work on that chemistry between the players. Like Josh Allen does not have the chemistry with his wide receivers like he had before. And then with our number 1 wide receiver going down injured, that doesn't help either. I think a big issue, and I've been on the fence with this, and I don't know, Pete, you can jump in this with. I don't think McDermott's the coach for us.
I don't think he's the guy.
he's
I have
not
never
going to
thought
win them
McDermott
a
was
a
Super
coach.
Bowl. No.
And the
I've
fucking-
I
never thought it
wanted
was a coach.
him to be the coach because of what he did to the team. When he started coaching, like he took us to the playoffs for the first time in 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
17 years, or whatever it was.
17, yeah.
Which was exciting. We lost. It was a horrible playoff game against
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
It was like
and,
7-3.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
the
just so
fucky
bad.
part, and you and Tim said this on a show last year, is that he's good enough to get you into the first round of playoffs, and he's not ever
Yes.
been good enough to win you a Super Bowl.
Right.
Right, and he's not good with time management. That's always been an issue, and
He's made some
that was a
stupid
big
decisions.
thing.
Yeah. I mean,
At the end of the game last week, when you have you need to score and you need to run down the clock, and you don't want to get the ball back to the other team, but you also need to score. Don't throw 3 long bombs. Run the ball. We have a running back finally, and he doesn't know how to do that. In every news conference, he says, these are lessons we're learning. How many times do you need to learn that lesson before you realize that you're making these mistakes all the time?
yeah, he's been the coach for 8 years now. It's there's no more learning. Like, you're good or you're not.
It's very frustrating, and I think this is if we don't make the playoffs, he's done.
Yeah.
If we do make the
Ooh.
playoffs, if we do make the playoffs, I think maybe he survives once more. Or if we lose in the first round, I think he's gone too.
What do you think about Brandon Bean in this case? Does he go too, or does he stay?
No, I think Bean's safe because of all of the other things that he's done.
Take away Josh Allen. What else? What has he done? He's had a couple good hits, but every GM has had some good hits. Right?
That's true.
He traded for Diggs. That was great.
Right.
Diggs gave us 4 years of some of the best wide receiver production the Bills have ever seen. But those two big hits, you take those away, and I mean, okay, yeah, there's some decent players, but
let's focus on the second part of the question.
Okay.
Pete, what is the fix? How do you fix the team?
Trade for Devontae Adams would
Adams.
help. Yeah, that would be a lot of help.
We can't afford him. We can't afford him. We don't have the cap space.
I've heard Brendan or Amari Cooper thrown out, who is probably sick of being in Cleveland. And
I did hear that.
His contract is actually something the Bills could do right now.
Right, because he's
had
at
a very good year last year.
He's at the minimum for a veteran or something like that.
Yeah.
So we could take him and he would help.
Right. I don't think he's as good as Devontae Adams, but it's still he'd still be far and away wide receiver 1 on the Bills. Shakir, we're talking about Shakir as a best receiver. He's a wide receiver 3 on any team that has a decent wide receiver core.
Right.
Well, he's literally a slot.
Oh, he was our,
yeah. Right.
And he was.
We've been arguing about this for a while.
Do you miss Gabe Davis?
No.
Why?
So Gabe Davis was exciting when he catch the ball.
No, but let's
when
rewind
the
into
rare moments when that happened.
Let's rewind into last year. Like you have the the Devontae Adamses and the Justin Jeffersons and the CeeDee Lambs, and you have all the top 5, 6, 7 guys, but they're on teams that don't win. And then you take the teams that are winning, and Pete said this a long time ago, and the importance of a top tier quarterback in the NFL. But Mahomes wins with less, or at least
he has the best tight end that's ever played the fucking game.
Yeah, but he's 35 fucking years old. He's 35.
Right. Well, look at his playoff stats last year. Every game, Travis Kelce, 100 and something yards, 2 touchdowns.
Mahomes has been winning with more than Kelce this season.
Yes.
Right. He's been winning
barely.
With the Kansas City Chiefs and
exactly. The refs are the best.
Right, but barely.
Listen,
the Chiefs
funny.
do not look like the invincible machine they've looked like in years prior.
It's funny to say that the NFL wants them to win and that they cheat, but also they're winning.
They are. I mean, I have them at number 1 in the rankings for a reason.
They're not 5-0 just because they're cheating.
Sure.
5-0 because Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback since Tom Brady.
5-0 because they've been cheating.
No,
that's not
there were
true.
2
There's a little
wins.
bit of that.
There were 2 wins
it's
that
just
probably
the refs.
shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Because of the refs.
Okay, so even though there was some
wins they
weird
shouldn't
calls,
have had,
there are some weird calls
true.
in that Ravens win. The Ravens lost because Isaiah Likely was out of bounds. They lost that game because Isaiah Likely
That one was legitimate.
He was out of bounds.
Yeah.
He was out of bounds, right? So
That's not one of the games I'm counting, though.
The Bengals
Listen,
Bengals one they got robbed.
Bengals?
Maybe good teams find a way to win.
Yes.
And then how, right? Do they find a way to win because Patrick Mahomes is so good? Do they find a way to win because Andy Reid is so good? Is it a combination of the two of them?
I mean, Reid is one of the better coaches. I mean, he's one of the best coaches playing, coaching now.
Are close. I think they're both generational. I think they're both in the top 5 in the league in skill and athletic ability and throwing ability. I mean,
Mahomes makes better decisions consistently.
That's true.
And that's
I think Mahomes
that's
is
the
a
kicker.
smarter quarterback. So I like driving.
I think, so just to go on that, I think a big reason why the Kansas City Chiefs win the way they do is because of coaching.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're incredibly coached.
Bills
best coaching staff in the
coaching.
league.
Right.
Best coaching staff in the league.
And they have a better defense than you guys do.
They do. The Bills' defense is banged up.
The Bills show that they could throw the ball around, and we had 13 different players catch or carry the ball in that one win.
Yes,
3 weeks ago. So they showed that they can do that, but it all comes back to I just don't think McDermott is the coach.
Also, a lot of teams or a lot of analysts have said now that, and they've asked defensive coordinators and defensive players on teams that have played the Bills recently, like Ravens and Texans. So has the Bills' offense been figured out? And they said, oh, yeah. Yep. What they did the first 3 weeks was completely unsustainable. And we know it now, and they need talent, or this is going to happen every week.
Huh?
Sorry.
Yeah, that sucks to hear.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah.
It's true, you know?
Right.
And it sucks because we're just wasting Josh's talent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to miss his window is a tragedy, honestly.
It is. Yeah. It is such a tragedy.
The way he plays, it reminds me a lot of Kelly. He got 10 years. That was it. His body was completely broken after that.
Yeah.
It's not like a Tom Brady who just sits back in the pocket and can play for 20 something years. Like that's not, Josh is not that player.
No.
He's not going to last that long.
Right. Well, Brady also had an offensive line that kept everyone off him, but he also threw the ball fast. Like he got the ball away from
his rhythm was incredible.
Yeah. Josh holds on to the ball, tries to make the big play when no one's open because they can't remember the play, or
they're just not fast. They're just not good enough. Right? Diggs is like, look back at 2020, how easy it was for Josh, because they had Beasley, Brown, and Diggs in their primes. All three receivers great at separation and route running.
Yeah. Now, I'm not upset that Diggs is gone. I mean, he was a good player. He was a diva. And I think his attitude was shit last year, and it affected the team greatly. It affected Josh towards the end of the season, and it was turmoil. So I still miss him. I'm not upset he's gone. Well, I miss the chemistry that they had, but they didn't have that chemistry last year.
It did kind of die in the end,
then.
Yeah,
the ball at all.
I know.
At the end of the year.
Yeah, that was weird.
So, well, I think it is his attitude.
Could be, yeah.
He's known for that. Like he did the same thing in Minnesota, and he left them, and then became an all-star here, and then did the same thing here, and now he's at the Texans, and he's good again. But he's going to do the same thing there. Like it's just what he does.
Yeah, I think that's just a thing of his personality now. It's becoming a pattern.
Do you think he incurs Nico Collins' hamstrings?
No, maybe, I don't know.
All right, guys. I think that's it.
Oh.
I think you convinced me.
We'll see what happens against the Jets here. You know, this is.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, we do have a chance.
It's another shitty team that you're probably going to beat.
Maybe
we have a chance to make the playoffs because
this is a trap game for the Bills. I think this is a trap game for the Bills.
The Bills hate playing
the Jets. Defense
the Jets
is pretty good.
Always gets in the Bills' heads.
Yeah. Is it in New York or is it in Buffalo?
It's in New York. Well, no, it's in New Jersey.
Sorry, is it in New Jersey or is it in Buffalo?
Bills haven't won in the Meadowlands since 2019, by the way.
This is a potential trap game for them, yeah. All right, so that has been our topics. We will be back next week with our friend Pete Valdione. In the meantime, you can catch up on old episodes on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@IfTheseBallsPod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by tickling that little bell.
Tickle, tickle.
We would like to thank our guests for joining us. Thank you, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
You can also follow or like us on our socials at IfTheseBallsPod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and yes, John and Pete, now on Reddit. Our website is www.iftheseballscantalkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and for my partner John Campania and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk.
Good night.
Good night.